Hello, I'm going to make a video for my sister Mary, who loves biscuits. If you want to watch me and learn how to make the biscuits that I make, you're more than welcome to. These are the way that I was taught to make them, and I've eaten them this way my entire life. So here we go. And I don't measure anything. I'm going to give you roundabout figures. But, yeah, I start off with just a couple of cups of flour. I grab this and I just scoop in a couple. This is a cup. And then I get some to put on the board later. But right now, this is a bigger bowl. You have to have flour. There's some salt in there. Put you some salt in the flour. Just a little bit of salt. Because you're making bread and you want to salt bread flour no matter what. And then Crisco. And no, I'm not being asked to do this by Crisco. I don't get paid by it for Crisco. I cook with Crisco. I always have. But yeah, gotta have Crisco. It's good. Better if you have Crisco. If you don't have Crisco, some kind of shortening. No oil. Okay, here we go. I always like to sift my stuff. So I'm going to pour my flour in this little sifter here that I have. If you don't have a sifter, you don't have to sift your flour. I just think it puts air in it, makes it fluffier. That's all. We can even put this in there and then scoop some back out. Here we go. I'm just sifting it. There. Now the yucky stuff comes out. I'm going to take a little bit back out to dust my board with. I have cold water. So you only need 3 things, or 4 if you count the salt. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Alright, I had to get a spoon. Here we go. I forgot one. Alright. Now we got a spoon. There's 1, 2, 3. Now at this point, if you want to, you could stick you some butter in here in your dough. But you know, it's up to you. And you can do this with the spoon. But eventually you're going to have to get your hands in there. So I really need you to wash your hands. Hands in there, and see, all I'm doing is squishing. There's no water. It's just the Crisco, the salt, and the self-rising flour. You have to have self-rising flour to make biscuits, unless you're going to go the whole way around and all that crap yourself. And you go right ahead. This is how I make them. Self-rising flour. And I do love Martha White self-rising flour, but they're all really pretty good. See, you got it look like this. And all it is the Crisco, the flour, and the salt. You're just mashing it all up. Alright, let's pour some water in there. Bring you up here while I do this part so you can see. At least I hope you can see. You're going to mix this until it becomes a ball of dough. I was thinking about my stepmother's tortillas, and I bet you if I tried real hard, I don't know, I Can't make hers. She made some awesome tortillas. I don't ever see her anymore. I can't do this one-handed. I'll show you what it looks like when I get done. It's just making a pile here. And I think we need just a little more liquid. Otherwise, you don't want your biscuit dough too dry. Some nasty dry ass biscuits. But that's about right here. That looks sticky. We'll move that to the side, put the lid back on the Crisco, and let's just go ahead and sprinkle that extra flour on the board or your table surface you're going to be cutting out the biscuits. Okay. Now, there's my roll of dough. And I'm just going to start working it. You want to put the flour in your hands. Get rid of the excess dough off your hands. And I remember when our granny and our great-grandmother Mim would make biscuits, they would sit and tell stories about what was going on in their lives and talk about, oh, George did this, or Lily did this, or Becky Faye knocked over the camera. You know, they just talked about everything. They were upset. Oh my goodness. Would they just work the shit out of that bread? But I found out you ain't got to do all that damn God. But I thought it was fun, you know. It was the ladies in the kitchen. And, yeah. Okay. Now my oven's already preheating. 400 degrees. I have a cookie sheet over there. I like to line mine with aluminum foil. You don't have to line yours at all. I don't have a certain biscuit cutter or anything. This is my rolling pin. Look at these things these days. Everything looks like it's made out of. Anyway. Roll out your dough. And you know, it's not going to be perfect. Bread never will be perfect. That's the loveliness of bread. Okay. Here we go. Put out a little more flour. This is my cup. One thing I learned about biscuits is you just go down and you go back and forth. You don't slide your cup back and forth. You just slide back and forth. I don't know why they say to do it that way, but they do. Oh, I'm sorry. My dough's about this thick. It's not very thick at all. See? I don't like big old thick biscuits. Now, oh, I turned it. Damn it. See, I mess up sometimes. And you will. It's okay. See there, right there? Put these on your pan. Then you take the dough that you have on the cutting board or your work surface, you work it together, make it another ball of dough. We'll sprinkle more flour, roll that out. Because this morning I'm going to make me some biscuits and gravy now. I shouldn't be having it, but I haven't allowed myself to have it in a long time. It's not healthy, but it's delicious. Reminds me of home. My mama and her mama. And I just keep mashing it out. I don't want little dinky tiny biscuits. But this one's probably going to make a good biscuit, but it's going to be a little bit thick for me. Maybe if I could just, you know, do whatever you can to it to make your biscuits. I got 2 more. There we go. So in total, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 biscuits I got out of that. If I had cut them a little smaller, I could have got 10 biscuits out of it. But we're going to cook them for about 15, 20 minutes. Keep an eye out. Don't burn your biscuits, gals. All right. I'll see you 20 minutes.